Moths and butterflies are part of the large insect order of Lepidoptera and contain around 180,000 or 10% of all described species. Of those, moths make up the vast majority, about 160,000. So, what's the difference between moths and butterflies anyway? Scientifically, the main distinction is that butterflies belong to the superfamily of Papilionoidea. Everything else in the order is classified as a moth. But the more tangible differences are that butterflies' wings tend to stay upright when resting as opposed to moths, and butterflies' antennae are long and straight compared to moths' serrated feathery antennae. Butterflies also tend to be diurnal and look more colorful, whereas moths tend to be nocturnal and much less conspicuous to avoid predation. As usual, tropical species with predictable climates have had time to evolve into remarkable organisms. Lepidoptera means scale wing, which tells us something crucial about their appearance. Their wings are covered with microscopic scales so small they look like dust when touched. These scales give them color, heat retention, and help with aerodynamics. But by far, the most incredible thing about moths and butterflies is their iconic life cycle. From an egg hatches a larva, which we call a caterpillar. They may spend as much as 98% of their lives as caterpillars, so the butterfly is really a lot more of a caterpillar than a butterfly. As larvae, their singular purpose is to eat and grow, typically on leaves. Because they are slow and vulnerable in this stage, many species evolve defense strategies. Finally, after several molts, caterpillars prepare for the most dramatic transformation of their lives. They prepare to pupate and undergo complete metamorphosis. What happens to caterpillars during metamorphosis is the most mind-blowing part of their development. The process is divided into two parts: histolysis, where the tissue breaks down, and histogenesis, where it is built from scratch. A key part of the process are imaginal discs, a group of undifferentiated cells that later become part of the adult body. During histolysis, nearly all of the caterpillar's body breaks down into a gel-like fluid. The nutrients from these dead cells are then used by the cells from the imaginal discs to begin building the adult body of the insect. In other words, caterpillars' bodies quite literally dissolve and then reform from the ground up. Once the adult Lepidopteran emerges from the chrysalis or cocoon, they have only a few weeks to live, and their focus shifts to mating. Because of how brief this stage is, some moths have no functional mouthparts at all. A notable exception to this pattern are migratory species like the monarch butterfly, which survive in their adult form for 6 to 9 months as they overwinter and travel thousands of kilometers. Thank you for watching Impulse Note. This was Lepidoptera in 100 seconds. Below are some well-known moth species in the pet trade. Here's a fun fact. Moths get confused by artificial lights because they navigate using the moon. In nature, the moon is so far away that keeping a constant angle to its light helps them fly in a straight line. But when they try to do the same with a nearby light bulb, that strategy fails. So instead of flying straight, they spiral inward and end up circling the light, all disoriented and stuck. As a final note, remember to visit impulsenote.com/taxonomy. There you will see a simple tree with the most important taxa of life, and you can observe how organisms are related to each other.